Sanbonani, my name is Mbuyiselo Vilakazi, and this is my Filmfinity movie guide. Let us talk about Tina. Daisy Riddle is taking the word hero to new heights. Basically, you've got these activists who are trying to expose corruption, but things turn sour. What then transpires is that they hold some people hostage, and who is here to save the day? It's the window cleaner in this company, led by, of course, Daisy Riddle, and she's portraying Joey. I'm very excited to see this one because I saw Ruth Gemmell. If you know Ruth Gemmell as Violet Bridgerton on Bridgerton, I'm excited to see her do something a bit different move from the Regency era to do something more action-packed. So I'm excited to see that. Animation meets adventure in Buffalo Kids. Think of Wild Wild West, but for kids. That's how I would look at it. So basically, we are introduced to these two kids who are in search for a new home, and they come across a lot of challenges along the way. But one thing to take away from this movie is how they are trying to teach, especially the young ones, about inclusivity and acceptance. Because these two children, they end up meeting a friend who is differently abled, and I love how this movie is pushing that conversation of acceptance and being able to embrace people irrespective of their differences. Som van Twee. This is an Afrikaans drama comedy. It's a beautiful story about fatherhood. It's a beautiful story about healing. Basically, three generations: son, father, and grandfather. I am actually excited to see Leanne Durant, who will make an appearance on the show. I've been a fan of hers from Donkopos days. And now, let's talk about something with regards to this movie. I did my matric in 2014. Imagine if I was told that I have to go back and rewrite my matric. Some people right now are mothers, some people are fathers, they are doing well in corporate. Now imagine if you have to go back and rewrite your matric. So there is the story like that you need to expect in the movie. Night of the Zoopocalypse. Basically here, a shooting star, a meteor unleashes a virus in this zoo and all the animals become zombies. So then we see a collaboration between a wolf and a lion trying to stop the spread of the virus. It's gonna be very funny and extremely entertaining, a wild adventure, I'm telling you. Minage guys, I love suspense. So Locked is all about that. Imagine you trying to steal a car, of course, you would not, right? And then you find yourself locked in this car that you're trying to steal. Then everything goes south. You find yourself locked, you're trying to escape, you are not able to escape. That's what Locked is about. Imagine finding yourself in that situation. Yeah. Someone once said animals change themselves to be able to adapt to a new environment, but human beings, they change the environment for them to adapt. So this is a beautiful story about the incredible connection between human beings and also animals, and I'm talking about the penguin lesson. So we find this British teacher who moves to Argentina to teach English, and he finds this orphaned penguin, and then he brings this penguin to his life. Of course, everyone is shocked. What are you trying to do? But then there is this incredible connection and bond that forms between him and those around him with the penguin that he adopted. So now imagine if Sneakers had a personality. In fact, if Sneakers were like us as human beings. So basically, we're introduced to the sneaker that somehow finds itself in New York. Yes, New York. And then what happens after that is that it has to find itself way back home to the owner. You know, if you're a good owner to your sneaker, they will remember you wherever they are. So that's what the story is about. This movie is very interesting because we have a star cast, the likes of Chloe Bailey, Macy Gray, Martin Lawrence, Lawrence Fishburne, Yewen, so there's Bondi, so there's Subin. Maybe it will sort of remind you of the Brave Little Toaster. If you've watched Brave Little Toaster, it's a movie from the 70s. I think it'll take you back to something like that, where you see objects getting a personality, and it's good to see things from that perspective. Amazing. Hey guys, these days it's so hard finding a nice horror movie, but Until Dawn is what you're probably looking for. So Clover and her friends, they find themselves, in this abandoned center. And why are people always trying to test the universe? And then what comes out of that center is terrifying. So go check out Until Dawn. One thing about me, I love a good action movie. If there's an explosion, I'm there. So I want to talk about Fight or Flight. Kabanga-ke inkabi noma inkabi, a hitman is tasked to target this plane, but he ends up being forced to collaborate with the people he is targeting. And for him to be able to survive and for everyone to survive and make it. That is what the movie is about. Oh, I nearly forgot to tell you, from the makers of John Wick. So yes, it's gonna be action packed. I'm sure it is not easy for old people to adapt to this fast changing world because everything is new. Social media, technology, that's what Old Guy is about. We are introduced to this old assassin, but he has to train a Gen Z Kabang. So he has to train this young boy to become the next assassin. So that generational gap, I'm sure it's gonna be very funny, and but also he's gonna take a lot of lessons from him.